Welcome to the Oregon Fly Fishing Blog. We are going to tie the famed SKA-OPPER fly designed by Scott Howell and used on the Umpqua. I have a clickhammer bomber hook. I'm going to take a little Arctic fox first, get all the underhair out. All I want is the guard hair. The latest version of this has a little bit of hair hanging out the back, so we will comply with that. Some gold crystal flash. So I'll just take a couple strands of gold crystal flash and lay this down the sides. Get a little bit of flash in there. The old fly had nothing but flash, and that works fine too if you prefer to do it. Now I am going to use some uni yarn in a fluorescent orange for our orange butt. I like to take a wrap under the tail just to keep it from doing a funny loop on me later. So now we've got our bump. I've pre-cut my foam to this shape, and it's about just a little bit longer than the hook itself, and then I just tie the foam in back here. And I'll turn this over to make sure I cover my thread pretty well. And then what I'll do is I'll just whip finish now, switch threads. I'm going to go to a 150 Kevlar Vivus. It's actually Kevlar, gel spun. This is GSP 150, and I'll switch to this because now I'm going to start working with hair and I want to be able to really cinch down on it. Okay, so I've got a good patch of deer hair. This is a little hollower than most. It's stiff. It's, you know, off the butt end of the deer. Just look for a good spinning deer hair. Your choice. Two things you want to have when you're spinning deer hair is a hair packer, if you want to get it all tight, and the other thing is a comb. So I've got my comb here, and I will just take this hair and just get the underfuzz out of it. And because I've got material here, I've got to clump this hair. I can't necessarily spin it when it's not on bare hook. So I call this, you know, I call it clumping hair. Folks call it a lot of different things. It's not truly spinning hair. And then I'll lay some on the bottom, and I'm just going to keep my thread in the same position, just cinch it down. And with that GSP, I can just then come up through the hair for a couple wraps, cinch it down some more, and then I'm going to stand this up and just pull everything back and slither that hair or that thread back up through there. Okay. Now, some people don't like their hair really tightly packed and slick and all that. They like it a little rougher for steelhead. Gives a little buggier appearance. You know, it's whatever floats your boat. So I'm going to clump another one just in front of that. Okay. Okay, so now I've got hair to here. I need to put some rubber legs in. And these are just a barred orange and black rubber leg. And I leave them full length because I want to use that length to pull them out of the way. And I'm just going to tie it in, pull it back, and tie over it, get it cinched in there. And then I'll reposition it. And then this is where a good material clip comes into play. And you just put your rubber leg back there out of your way. I'll take this, compress it in there a little bit more with my thumbnail. And then what I'll do is start clumping hair in some more. So this is a bit of a tedious process here. The tool for packing hair, just grab your hook firmly, cinch this down, and just press it in there, and it will push that hair right back onto itself. And up the shank, really tighten up your material. Now I've gotten through the spot where I had all the thread, I can start spinning the hair. So what you do when you spin your hair is you just pull it in there, loose wrap, pull, and spin. Okay, and then I take my thread and work it up and down in there a little bit into the hair. It just helps secure it, and then I'm going to pack it again. I'm going to put another set of legs in. So I've got another leg, tie that in there. Just kind of pull it back in there. Put it in the material clip, call it good. Okay, so now I'm going to start spinning some hair. Use a little larger clumps in here just to fill the gap. Grabbing the tips, brushing out the under hair. Loose, loose, pull, spin. I'm getting up towards the front of here, I've got to put a guinea hackle in. So this is as good a place as any to stop. I've got my hair spun, I got my rubber legs in. So now what I got to do is come in here and without cutting those rubber legs is trim this hair. I always start at the top and I just take this down flat. After I get that flat, then I've got some reference of how far I want to trim this. Careful not to cut your foam like I just did. That'll make you angry. Really quick job on this one. Just work your way around, taking it in a little bit at a time until you get the shape you want. As I'm really trimming that hair in close there because I want that orange butt to show as a target spot for this fly when the fish are chasing it. So I've got this body relatively trimmed where I want it. Okay. Take a guinea feather and strip it down and tie that collar style. And get about 2 or 3 wraps of this in there to add some color and contrast and a little bit of movement in the body. That coupled with the rubber legs, you'll have a good moving fly. Just take this and tie that right in there like that. Okay. So now I've got my guinea in there. I go back to spinning hair. I want to get this thread clear back on that guinea so where I start spinning hair again. Okay. But when I start spinning hair, there's 2 tufts of hair on this fly that come out on the sides of the guinea. So I've stacked a little bit of deer hair. And this doesn't have to be perfect, so what I end up doing with these normally, so I stack a little bit of hair and I don't want these all even and perfect. Nobody really seems to like that but me, so we're going to do this. I'm going to lay this on top, take a turn. I'm just going to trim this up so it doesn't flare out, get in my way. Put a wrap in there, and then I'll just take this, spread it out, wrap in this hair. Now, I've got a little bit of a tuft on top, which is fine. We're all good there. But I don't have any on bottom, so what I'm going to do now is come in and fill this spot by doing the clumping of hair again. So you can see I've got a void in there, and that's really easy when you're doing this style of clumping. Then you can just take it. And when I get in the front here, I trim this hair down a little bit too, so it's shorter, so I can trim it easier. And I'll just lay this right in that spot there.
Sure, I'll
wrap my thread around it, snug it down, and I've got that hole filled in. Okay. So now I'll grab my thread here, really cinch this down and get it in there good. This little clump of hair you're going to put in there is white hair, and I've got a little bit of, this gives another target spot for the steelhead to try to catch up with. So I'll turn this over. This goes right in the throat there. I'm going to take that, cinch it down in there. Okay, so that's in. Get my thread up to the eye. Take all this and push it back as best you can. Get your thread wrapped there. Spread your hair here. And then you're going to bring in your foam. Now I have really on my foam, I like that big wedge in the front like that, but it doesn't work real well if it doesn't have some reinforcement, because then it does this and then it'll dive on you. So what I do is I take a piece of orange foam, and partially because I'm partially sighted and have a difficult time seeing these flies sometimes when I'm fishing them, and I put that orange foam in there. I will tie this fly off. And then what I do is I take this, bend it up, and trim it to length. And then I'll take a little bit of Zap-A-Gap, put that on the foam, and then bend this foam up into it so it stands up and holds it upright. Okay. Then this one I'll bring up so it sets the length higher, and that's my visual cue there. So now I just come in, trim all this up. You say, how do you keep the guinea out? Well, I've tried to keep my hair shorter than the guinea, so I just pull the hair up, come in and trim it, and then work around the guinea as best I can. It's a little bit of a pain, but if you're really careful, you will get it trimmed up so it's just perfect. And then I've got these little bits of hair sticking out the side there. They're for the legs. So just come in here and just trim all this up. Now this fly looks exceptionally rough right now, but we are running dangerously close to running out of video time. So what I'm going to do here is let these legs out and kind of see. Now it's got a rough cut on it. Pull my rubber legs out of there. And then all I do with these is just pull them down, give them a little cut, and then I'll come back in here and clean this up for the photo that will be posted. So there you have your scalper.